Rogue tier, we still winning. Magic card, oh, we extending. Dark Law, he still contending. Sunrise, your lights in it. Yugi peoples and fellow members of My Hero Academia, welcome to the commentary. So this is my round one opponent. He let me know before the game started that this was his first tournament that he's ever played in. So yeah, I was not expecting to play against Speedroids at all. And my opening hand was like Shadow Mist, Mally, Mass Change, Called by, and Ogre. And I have no idea what this deck really does. So I just didn't know what the Ogre, I just kind of let things go through here. And I was just like, I'm just going to have to see what his board ends on. Maybe if I see something noticeable, I'll be able to Ghost Ogre it. And, you know, this is only like the second time that I've ever seen this stuff. So I have no idea like really what's going on. I was like, maybe I should have hit that. And then before I know it, there's a Baron on the field. So I'm like, oh, okay. So my Ghost Ogre does nothing now. Like it's just gone. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind next game. Because I figured like at this point, all right, I'm probably going to lose this game. He's got that out there. I don't have anything to like really break boards with. I let him keep going so that I can see what his inboard looks like. But for some reason, I'm not sure if it was just like the way he drew or if he messed up in the middle of the combo. But his inboard ends up being Baron and just some other monster that didn't really do anything. But of course, still with my hand, I don't have anything to really bait out the Baron negate. You know, I have Mally, Shadow Mist, so you know, I draw for turn. It ended up being Fusion Destiny. So now I'm just like, I just need to bait out the Baron negate so that I can activate Fusion D, and then I should be good from there with the Ogre and Callby. So my plan is to bait out the Baron negate with Honest Neos or either Mass Change and see which one he goes for. So I Mass Change. He decides to let that go. I'm going to bring out my Anki. And because, like I said, this is his first tournament, he's asking a lot of questions about what my cards do, you know, not being all that too familiar with heroes. So I'm going to bring out Anki. I guess he kind of really knows what that one does. Then I'm going to use Shadow Mist effect. He doesn't negate that either. And so now I'm going to activate Honest Neos, you know, and now he's forced to activate it. Otherwise, my Anki is big enough to attack over Baron. Now I'm like, okay, I can go for the OTK, or at least that's what I thought. So I'm going to activate Fusion Destiny. I'm going to send the Mally Boy, send that Denier guy, special summon out my DPE. And then I'm going to go ahead and activate Mally Boy's effect to special summon himself from the deck. And I'm thinking like at this point, all right, I have Callby, I have Ghost Ogre, now I have DPE, but I can actually get a OTK here because I'll be able to go search that other Mass Change with Anki. I have a little guy to attack over his little Speedroid monster and then activate Mass Change, and yeah, I'm going to be able to go in. But on my fifth summon, the Nibiru comes down. I'm like, gah, that's not a wind monster. So, yeah, so I get nibbed here on exactly my fifth summon. And, you know, chain DPE, destroy the littlest monster so that, you know, my token can have some pretty big stats. So, you know, that's 58, 69. And then I think it ended up being like 77. I can't remember what the exact attack was on that, but it was also the defense was high enough to where the Nibiru couldn't attack over it. So of course I used my little Clayman token, and at that I'm just basically, okay, I got DPE, I got Callby, I have Ghost Ogre. I know he has that monster in his graveyard that allows him to banish it to special summon a tuner. So I'm already like, okay, I'm gonna definitely Callby that one and just use my DP and Ogre as effectively as I can because I have no idea, like I said, what his deck does. That's why I got Baroned on, you know, as soon as he hit enough stars to hit it. So standby phase, bring back DPE, and I'm also going to activate Call By to get rid of that thing before it starts trying to do the effect. He activates the spell card to add one of his monsters back to his deck. And so now that he has this tuner and a monster out on the board, I'm like, this is probably where I need to go ahead and just DPE so that he doesn't synchro summon into something weird that I haven't seen and don't know about. Go ahead and pop the tuner, leave the other monster on board since its effect is negated. And you know, he's kind of thinking, weighing out his options, and I'm just kind of waiting, not knowing what in the world could happen. Standby phase, of course, DPE comes back. I have Tele in my hand, so I could actually go into my access code talker, OTK, but I have no idea what kind of traps they run. But you know, in hindsight, you know, I have DP out on the board anyway. I feel like I probably should have just went for the OTK. So I'm just gonna go attack with the token. He activates a trap card that would bounce a monster back to my hand. He targets DPE with it. I'm gonna activate DPE's effect, go ahead and pop himself and pop the Nibiru token. That way I can get some damage in with this big ass token. My big old clay man. Attack over the other guy. You know, I feel pretty confident that I have this match. I have the Ghost Ogre, I have Tele, and I still have DPE. He's only got one card in hand. So yeah, I feel like this is gonna be one highly in my favor right now. Go ahead and set the Tele. Bring back DPE in the standby phase. And I believe he tried to activate the trap that was in graveyard. I can't remember exactly what it did, but for some reason he was saying he couldn't activate it or it didn't do anything. So right here he activates that one card that I had called by the grave last time so that he can special summon a tuner. I'm reading it, see if it has any crazy special effects. Go ahead and DPE, hit that thing because it's a tuner and I don't want him synchro summoning. And then he goes, this is where I say he tried to activate the trap, but for some reason he couldn't activate it. And yeah, that'll be the end of game one. So, you know, I'm the type of person where I shuffle my entire side deck into my deck and then take out the cards that I feel will be least effective in the matchup. You know, I think the main thing that I sided in was like Gamma and Droll and Lockbirds. I think I sided in evenly matches since I figured that I would be going second, and the Ghost Ogres didn't really seem effective against him, or I don't think that they would be effective against him, so I'll go ahead and side those out too. Everything else I just kind of left off in there. I do believe I sided out the Lightning Storms because they didn't really seem like they would be effective in this matchup, and I just wanted to keep in the most effective hand traps. You know, it just kind of sucks when you go against something rogue and you don't know exactly what their goal is, what their inboard is, or what it is they're trying to do to you exactly. So I just try to, you know, side in the ones. I noticed that, you know, I figured a deck like this probably searches a lot, and you know, that's kind of about it. I left in Nib. Yep, because I main deck 3 Nibs off inside of there. Pretty much left my deck the way it was. I did notice that like throughout this tournament, I did side out one of the Teles a lot, which I probably shouldn't have did. But I guess it didn't really cost me too many games. But yeah, I hadn't really thought about the most effective way to side deck with this deck. My opening hand is not all that great. I didn't open up with 2 hand traps, but I did start off with multiple starters and Tele. And you know, as he plays, he just kind of has a disappointed kind of look on his face, and then he said he didn't draw too good. And I drew good if I was playing going first, but going second, I'm like, yeah, with just one hand trap, I don't think that I drew good. So he summons the Griffin and another monster that I have no idea what it is. And it's crazy, like both games he didn't open up with the other cards to be able to, fully utilize the adventure package. And all he's able to do is make Crystal Wing Synchro. And I look at my hand, I got the Tele, I got a Hero Lives, I have Foolish. I'm like, man, I could easily go for OTK here. And I am playing crossouts, but I didn't draw a crossout designator. So now I'm thinking in my head that I need to play around Nibiru, and I need to negate this Crystal Wing Synchro effect. So I'm a Hero Lives into Stratos. I'm gonna go ahead and activate Stratos effect. Of course, he's not gonna Crystal Wing Synchro that, but so that I can have the ability to activate my other cards, I'm gonna go ahead and search the Honest Neos right now. I'm gonna go ahead and activate Honest Neos effect. And I know that Crystal Wing, he needs to negate that, because since Stratos is not a high level monster, Crystal Wing's effect to gain attack wouldn't activate. So he goes ahead and activates the Honest Neos right there. I'm going to Foolish Burial my Mally, bring out Mally Boy from deck. Then I'm going to go ahead and use those two to link summon, of course, our boy Cross Crusader. Use his effect to special summon back Mally Boy. Mally Boy gets special summoned to the board so many times. And now that I've used Cross Crusader, the emergency teleport is kind of pointless inside of my head. So now it's just going to be an interruption on my opponent's turn. And I'm going to activate Cross Crusader's effect to special summon Mally Boy. And I actually made a big play mistake right here. For some reason, I didn't activate Cross Crusader's effect to add, and I normal summon Vion. And it was really bad because Vion was my 5th summon. And I'm like, oh, this is really bad. But fortunately, he didn't have the nib right there. So I'm going to activate Vion's effect. I sent Denier. And then I'm going to activate Cross Crusader's effect to send Mally Boy to add my Graceful Charity to my hand. The reason why I didn't send Shadow Mist with Vion is because I already have Shadow Mist in my hand. And I said if he had nibbed on Vion summon, it would have been really, really, really bad for me. So yeah, I got to be more careful of counting my summons in my future tournaments and stuff, because it's like I know he's playing nib, and I did not play around it at that point. So now with all the pieces in my hand, I'm going to activate Polymerization. And I'm explaining to him the chain link, how I'm going to do it. So I did chain link 1, Liquid Soldier, chain link 2, Shadow Mist, chain link 3, Sunrise. So inside of this deck, I'm not playing Ferris or Increase. I'm using like an emergency teleport as my extender. Like most of the times I don't have to do the Cross Crusader play, but I did it this time because I didn't really plan on like going all the way out. I didn't draw cross out designator to be able to stop in the Nibiru, so I wasn't gonna go like all the way in like that. So I draw 2 with Liquid Soldier. I added Miracle Fusion. I added Vion. I discarded the Lightning Storm. And now I'm letting them know like Sunrise's effect and how he boosts the stats of my monster. So confirming that the Crystal Wing doesn't have any kind of protection or anything like that. He already used the negate, so I'm going to declare an attack with Vion, activate Sunrise's effect to pop the Crystal Wing, redeclare my attack with Vion, and then attack with Cross Crusader and attack with Sunrise, letting them know how much their attack is due to the defense boost. And since he let me do that, I just kind of figure at this point, okay, he does not have Nibiru. So let me go ahead and bring out DPE. So I use Cross Crusader and Vion to go into Wonder Driver, because, I already used the Polymerization. I haven't used Denier's effect Engrave. So now I'm going to activate Denier's effect, special summon him to the zone that Wonder Driver points to. Chainlink 1, Wonder Driver. Chainlink 2, Denier. Put Mally Boy on top. Wonder Driver, set polymerization, activate polymerization, and bring out DPE. So now I have droplet, I have emergency teleport, I have DPE, and you know, he opened up pretty bad. I also have Ash in my hand, and yep, that's gonna pretty much be all she wrote. I have like everything I needed to stop pretty much anything he wanted to try to do, but Ash is enough to put a stop to it all. And that will go ahead and be the end of my round 1 of my Tele heroes. You know, the game 1 weren't pretty good, you know, though I went against somebody who wasn't all that experienced. I didn't like that I didn't draw multiple hand traps either one of those games, but it is what it is. Appreciate y'all for watching.